hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top on the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no loss. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you're trying to go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spin. Better kill it.
Well, Coach, any Florida resident will tell you that afternoon pop-up showers and storms are the norm, and that's exactly what we have right now. Actually expecting a pretty steady rain throughout today here in Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We play to win. Let's go!
Here we go. 18 Gator.
Check. Fresno. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Check 24.
Fire.
A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing on 2nd down now, Minshew. Flushed out right. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Anthony Miller, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Eddie Goldman able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Now Leonard Fournette, and he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here's Minshew. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. He's got Burton here. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one good for 26 and a first down. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in this first quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week. But the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 36.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the toss, it's Gurley. And an alley to run. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 15 yards on the play, first down.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Taylor Gabriel, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Bears push further out in front. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll run it here. This is James White. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
You draw Corker.
They'll try to throw for it with Minshew. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They hand off to their big tight end. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
That's good for a Jacksonville 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Bravo.
6 guys. Check 6 guys.
Now Minshew on 1st and 10. He's going to look deep down the field. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 51 yards. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. First down, here's White. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. James White, his first touchdown of the new season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Chicago. Taylor Gabriel, 79 yards. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they had maybe given up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Minshew, 1st and 10. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, they'll run with White. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
It's 3rd and 10.
Set, ready? 15, line it. 15 line.
Get trapped, get trapped.
Hey, echo.
Minshew throwing on 3rd down. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game. It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Following the penalty, it's Gurley. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Mike 57, Mike 57.
Now back to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. They'll look to throw. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
This will be fielded at the 17. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On the draw, it's White. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, defense. Let's get off the field, defense.
Throwing on 1st down is Minshew. Going for the deep ball. He's got it at the 15. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. 49 yards. Well, one thing's for sure. They're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good pitcher treats pitching a game. Change your timing, change your location. So sometimes you're up on him, sometimes you're back. Just change up the looks that he sees and make him just a little bit more hesitant.
A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a gain of 4. And that'll make this a 2nd down.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Watch the screen, watch the screen.
Looking to throw it, Minshew. He's got it. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Leonard Fournette, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. after the touchdown. He'll kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
At their own 22-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Josh Allen. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll set up a throw. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. Returnable here from the 38. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A very good return that time. 18 yards. Now the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field.
Come on, set. Send logo. Protein spill. 25. Check 25. Check 25. Snap.
They'll run on first down. White. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Minshew. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. This is Josh Lambo. He hit from 57 a year ago. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with the coach and our EA Sports halftime report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go, let's go.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to the ground, this time with Gurley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
At the 27-yard line.
On the set.
Mike, 44. Hey, let's get some penetration here.
Brickstone travel. Get it ready.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
I think you have to chalk that one up for the defense there. Someone right on the spot. Excellent coverage. Didn't leave him enough room to come down inbounds, even though he did catch the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Let's go, fellas.
The Jaguars take over 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
On the ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Speed grip.
Off play action, it's Minshew. That's to his running back, Leonard Fournette. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Ready. 70, Indy.
It's me and you. It's just me and you.
Shoot.
From the gun, Minshew to throw. It's caught. This is White. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They're going to run this with a tight end. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
That's good for a Jacksonville 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
50, plant.
All day, defense.
But
All day. Watch twist. Watch the twist. Shift. Watch the eye.
On 1st down, White. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. They got the ball to the outer third of the field, but they could not seal that edge and lost yardage.
And I love how you brought that up, because sealing the edge is often a function of the offensive tackle on the line of scrimmage, oftentimes a tight end, maybe your H-back, someone to set the edge at the line of scrimmage to give them a spot to get to. If you're not able to do that, you're not able to turn the corner.
On 2nd and 12, Minshew looking long for Westbrook. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense at that fact. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the ball is going to wind up out of bounds, so they will lose yardage, but they'll keep the football.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. The ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And all the way down to the 42. A huge play there for Chicago. 46 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. He gets it to Gurley, complete. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Back to throw here. Buying time, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Enough to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And Old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
They'll set up to throw. Looking deep for Gabriel. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. They'll go play action here with Minshew. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Yannick Ngakoue able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
On 2nd down, it's White. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
The tackle made by Devin Bush brings up 3rd down.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Jaguars on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. So 3rd and long. Here's Minshew. And that will be incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with him punting the football away.
Yes, he
can't get away, and he's taken down. Sacked by the outside backer, Telvin Smith.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. They'll look to throw here. Wide open receiver complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
It'll be a 48-yard punt, 5 there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. They run the draw play. This is Light trying to run inside, but nothing there. Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop. Delayed give there out of the gun. Defense was ready.
And I'm not a big fan of a draw play out of the shotgun formation because the quarterback's not having much action where he's getting away from the line of scrimmage. He's catching the football, making a little head fake, and then handing it off. You should be able to read it as they did there.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
First down, Chicago.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Gurley. A.J. Boye up to make the tackle.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Gurley. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Calais Campbell coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fielded at the 20. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
At their own 46-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Fournette, and once again he's going to be stopped up behind the line. 2nd straight play. Shades of the 85 Bear defense a little bit.
It's now 3rd down and 3.
Come on, set. 18 Gator.
58 right there. All day, baby. All day. 58 to Mike. 58.
X3. 218. Chop.
Let's get in there now. Slam.
Go.
They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Oliver, the tight end, making the catch. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Let's go.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play. Back.
They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. Steps away to his left. It's complete. It's Miller. And he'll be out right at the 35. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15. Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Here we go, here we go. 60 outlaw.
6-man. Check curl.
Get it.
He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Calais Campbell picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They're going to look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. He'll drop to throw. Flush to his right. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
On the set.
Go 58 to the mic.
Hey, I-7.
58, come on.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Leo. Hustle. Now.
He's back to throw. And he's going to go down again. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. And they're out of timeouts, remember, so this is going to have to be a delay. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for the Bears, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they'll drop to 0-2.